No, I heard so. But yeah, it's that time of the week again, man. So for people that this is like their first episode, what we like to do or what we've started
Your
doing.
first episode, you better go back, bro.
I mean,
Listen,
this
Is it?
will be the second episode that we're doing it.
Yeah. So we're just starting it basically. But we just spoke about basically the importance of remembering like what God has done for us, and that whenever God does things for us, to actually highlight it through testimonies, innit? So every week now we're gonna share some testimonies. And to be fair, it's one of those ones whereby it's like it doesn't have to be like you. I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe you said that. I just cannot believe you said that.
Just don't say I said anything.
No.
I cannot believe you said that.
Joe is, yeah. Joe is, sir. But yeah, isn't that how that song goes? I know you know.
What?
He said he changed the song. He said he changed the song, innit? He's changing the song, innit?
No. What song is it?
But what song did you say this?
The song I was saying initially, yeah,
That
was
girl something.
yeah, exactly. That's it's still the same song I'm saying.
I thought it was better.
What song is that?
What do you think?
I thought you said Rocky Body.
No.
It's the way you said the testimony. I thought it was,
that's the old school. You see the old school.
Yeah, the old school piece.
I know it's a testimony.
Okay, but what's the full song?
That's what I'm trying to
He said, I got testimony.
Is it actually say testimony?
I don't know, you know.
These songs, Denzel.
But I found
we could do that. Actually read the whole lyrics for you.
But see, look, see.
But
Let intrusive thoughts win.
Anyway, yeah.
You say that to say what though?
I just let intrusive thoughts win.
No, but you said it that there was a comment about that before.
It's just a thing, innit? You know, it's a thing now, innit, to say that this person definitely let his intrusive thoughts win.
Yeah,
it's a thing now, innit?
Anyway, every week from now we're gonna do testimonies, basically, innit? Just to show what God is doing in our lives.
What's the funny? It wasn't you were gonna be me. I'm literally here. I'm actually just. I'm actually like no. But seriously though,
Yeah. Everyone want to start?
Yeah, you start.
To me, it's kind of a follow up of something else that I said. Why are you holding in your laughter? Why are you holding in your laughter?
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I know you're singing and dancing to the song.
Yes, you are.
Come on. I'm definitely not. I'm not as in singing and dancing to the song.
But yeah, so follow up of one of the ones, the first one that I said, I think, and how I had received a response for something. So, and you know, even in the whole receiving response for things, we've spoken about it kind of over and I was like, I don't know what's going to come of it. It might not be anything. You know what I mean? What I want to come of it might not come of it.
Yeah.
So what I thought was going to come with it hasn't come of it in this instance. But something else has come of it, basically, innit?
Okay.
So the person was like, oh, okay, so you do this. All right. So, boom. You can kind of do this sort of thing. I was like,
Okay.
fair enough. So yeah, thank God for that, man. And when I say this, it's all like to do with like me and like my creative journey and all of that sort of stuff. So whenever you get like a breakthrough on that side, because that journey is very difficult, let's say. So when you get a breakthrough, it's like, nah, you know what, thank God. Yeah, so thank God for that, man.
It's funny because even though we were talking about weddings earlier, my missus found a wedding dress.
Yay!
Hey, listen, people
This guy
understand.
got a cheat code, man. For the next however many months.
Again, it's just one of the major milestones.
Yeah, it is.
Ticked off.
And it's in a very good timing still.
Do you get me? So all that done, sorted. Do you get me? And it's just good to know that, it's just done and sorted. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because that one, you know, man, that we suit, fam, that one I can.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
Speak and swangle, I can. Do you get me? But that one dress, it just causes wahala, man. So it's just like, thank God that's ticked off.
That's it, man. For me, so I was driving back from one of these cities that had like 35 bricks and the whiz. I'm guessing. No, do you know my testimony is actually like essentially like pride was about to like force me into or compel me into making like a bad decision, basically, innit? When I say compel and force me, it's more because compel is better than force, to be fair. But it was making a very compelling argument, like of why to make a certain decision that would have had negative ramifications in it. And even though I kind of sensed it, I was still. It's so mad, yeah. It's so mad to say this, but it's kind of like I was allowing pride to have its way in it, essentially, in it. But yeah, I just thank God that we went the other way. Like, I'm saying we as if like me and pride are on the same side, but as in I'm thanking God that I went the other way, essentially, innit? Because it would have had like massive ramifications and stuff like that. So so I'm grateful about that, because I think even in testimonies as well, I think these small, you could call them spiritual triumphs, or you can talk about it in a way where it's like just self-control to a certain degree. So I'm happy about that, to be fair.
Oh, that's good, thank God. And you lot be sending in as well still, because it's also important to hear from you lot as well. Like, what is God doing? What is God?
Gad.
That's good.
It's Gad.
To be fair, I've been messing up. I'm even shocked that you lot haven't been.
What is God doing for you? Like, what has He done that we can also share and let everybody know that God is still active, God is still working?
Yeah, man. Fam, it's important as well. Fam, if you think something is good,
Just
bro, speak about it. Still, you know what I'm trying to say?
Still,
like in anything else in life, bro. It's so funny. I remember someone used to say that when people have kids at work, bro, there's always a way that they're gonna bring up the kids. Like always. I don't know about them back in the days when we used to be in the office like every day. I know people they'll like show you a video, or their child do something, and you're thinking, fam, like you didn't need to show me this. Do you get me? In that, like, it's not. It's like for you, I can imagine it's been a mad milestone. Do you get me?
True.
But for me, it was like, no. The main thing is that they were just so happy.
Yeah, to show something that was good.
And definitely, when you look at stuff like Easter, for us, So first and foremost, would you not say you evangelize?
Nah, not on
the road,
sense.
not in the traditional way.
Would you not say you evangelize?
Yes.
Yeah, in a way that's unorthodox.
And what way is that?
Through this podcast. And do you know one of the ways I think I evangelize is when I talk about, it's gonna sound weird, but if I go somewhere where we're talking about the Bible anyway, and like the fact that you like see a normal person talking about it, if that makes sense. And then obviously I to be fair, in terms of like work and stuff like that, I'm always very clear on, like anything planned for the bank holiday weekend, and I'm like church, essentially, like Good Friday, obviously, so there's probably going to be a few services and all that kind of stuff, so watch whatever I can online or whatever it is, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess that's not really, but that's why I said it's not traditional.
And I don't get what is, and I guess that's the like point of discussion, I guess, innit? Like, I don't get what's not, like, there's other ways of evangelizing as well as, but then I guess like the one that is the most, when you think about evangelism, you just think about being on the road and chatting to people, what I do anyway. And I think that's like the most, but then you can also evangelize by doing other things as well. That's like a form of evangelism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what I've just said is very watered down in terms of evangelism, because I think evangelism a lot of the time requires you to engage with someone else that is not part of the faith, and essentially
tell them about Jesus.
Yeah, introduce them essentially, innit? So
yeah,
I think we do this with the pod, obviously, and I think with the players as well, we do that.
Yeah.
So that's with ministry, essentially, innit? So essentially, that's actually jokes.
In essence.
But yeah, not as in like go on the road and like stop people and speak to people, stuff like that. Yeah, and I feel like if I was to do that, I don't think it would be in the same sort of way as it's done.
I think, do you know what it is as well, bro?
I think I'll do it differently. I don't know.
Because would you do?
Do I evangelize? Yeah. I'll say no. I'll say no.
Because you don't do it in the traditional way. And
yeah,
you feel like the traditional way is the way.
Yeah, and I wouldn't.
And I do hear that.
Yeah, and I feel like I wouldn't even call it the traditional way, even though I know what you're referring to. Just in terms of like that conversation.
Because social media is a less traditional way. Evangelizing.
But more so, I wouldn't say I do. Like the podcast, like it's definitely engaging people. Why, but
yeah. You think it's a cop out? It's like the easy
I do think it's the easy way.
To a degree, it's an easy way. It's an easy thing to say. That one evangelizes because on the pod.
But then do you think one is better than the other? One is more effective than the other? One is less would you?
Because we've spoken about this before, and part of the reason why I'm even saying that we do it through the pod is because we said that before. You get?
Because I feel like stopping and speaking to someone in the street can definitely be effective, innit? And I think the Holy Spirit can convict at any point in time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But for example, somebody listening who had listened to the pod from the episode 1 up until 200 and whatever, like it's like a continual thing as opposed to you've left it with somebody.
Tell a lie. I speak to, because again, evangelism is not just about strangers. It's about your friends as well.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So I was going to ask, all right, but forget strangers. What's the convos like with friends who
aren't in the faith,
aren't believers?
So mad. I invited someone to my church the other day that goes like Roman Catholic church, and then prior to that, another friend. I'm always like, fam, like, she actually just come and try it out, like, as in, you get what I'm trying to say?
That's really true, you know. That's true still.
You get me?
That's true. And one thing I will say is the majority of my friends are active Christians. You get what I mean? But then I do have a few friends that aren't.
Easy.
I do have a few friends that aren't Christians, innit?
The man got some gazy bridges, bro. Like, it's all right to say it, innit? Everyone's got some gazy bridges, but we're not, like, do you know what I mean? We're not holier than down that.
Thanks, man.
How did you relate the two? Being holier than down, just calling them gazy.
Holier than down means that you're not going to be seen around anything that unholy.
All right, I get
in
what
quotation marks.
You're saying. No, I get what you're saying.
But anyway, like God said, don't call anything I call holy unholy, innit? So, we move.
But I haven't had, or not like, I've definitely had conversations in it, but it hasn't been like a point of, all right, cool, let me get you in the church, you know what I mean? Or let me try and help steer you on the right path, you know what I mean?
Why not?
It's not a constant thing. Just haven't really thought.
The maddest thing is, I feel like from your personality, you don't have to do that. You already do it. If you get what I'm trying to say. You know when we spoke about previously about they just won't do certain things around you, or they already know what kind of conversation they're gonna have if they've done something.
But then even with that, it's like, and to be fair as well, like I do have, my brother even phoned me today, and like I know people when it comes to certain things, they will shout me because they know the sort of like vibe I'm coming with, the sort of counsel, whatever I'll give them in it. But then that's different from me actually saying,
evangelizing.
Yo, what you saying? Like, are you like, what's your spiritual life saying? Basically, like, what's the pattern there? Do you know what I mean? Now we said this, I'm gonna try and obviously.
I ain't gonna lie,
it's more effective as well.
Yeah, it's something that's been on my mind. Do you get me? Because I remember, like, I go to a Bible study at times. Well, I go to a Bible study. Yeah,
I go to a Bible study at times.
Yeah, I go to a Bible study, and there was one week that they were like, you know what we're gonna do? No Bible study. No Bible study. We're gonna go to the station. We're gonna evangelize, like, outside the station for a bit. Like, we're gonna do that for about 30 minutes. Then everyone come back. There's food, there's drink, there's snacks, whatever. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's all funny, because one of my brethren also goes there, that I met a few years back. So I asked him, like, oh, so what are you going to evangelize? Yeah, LOL. And I was thinking, fam, why have I put LOL? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I've been messaging them, like, fam, why have I typed? I've been messaging them, like, fam, why have I typed LOL at the end of that?
Yeah.
And what's so funny as well is that they didn't prep you lot for that, innit?
No.
So I guess their vibe is like,
and that's the thing. And the way,
and
because obviously the sort of church it is there, they have a very particular doctrine, the way things are. So they're not the type of, let me teach you up on methods of evangelism. It's not that, innit? Just go and talk. If you go and talk on what you believe is the good news, do you get what I'm trying to say?
No, I hear it.
Like, sometimes it's needed though, so.
It's Easter, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, for us, this is the best news. Like, these days, this Good Friday to Resurrection Sunday, bro, it is the biggest and best thing within our faith. Undoubtedly. It's actually...
You're obviously not going to get caught up in the whole birth versus...
Yeah, birth versus...
But do you know what I mean? Like, it's peak.
Do you get me?
Yeah, peak still.
And do you know what it is as well? I think...
what was it saying, actually?
What was what saying?
Evangelism.
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't do it?
I didn't go.
Why?
Yeah. To be fair, it's bad. I had a link up on that day. Yeah. So I went there.
Hold on. Just pause everything right now.
Oh, I think I was that day.
Just pause everything right now.
So I went. I've just been honest with it.
You need to cage this boy. Hey, hold on.
I've just been there.
That is jokes.
You got there. They said we're not having Bible study today.
No. They said it. No. No. They said next week. They've been saying it like week. So
you scheduled the link up for that week.
The link up was always at that week. So
Oh, what a quickie dick.
That old chestnut.
How convenient.
That's
That's
crazy
funny still. That's actually very funny.
And listen, like I said, I could have moved it. I could have moved the link up easily, fam. I could have moved the link up if I wanted to. But the point is that I didn't actually want to go outside the station and evangelize. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I didn't want to stand outside the station. And I noticed I had to ask myself, why?
But this is the point I wanted to get to you. Because that's what I was trying to contain myself when you were saying it. Because it's like, if I went to a church that I don't actually go to, but I'm just going to their Bible study, I've been going for a while. I stopped going for a bit. I've started going, and this is like my second week back. And then like, cool, next week, I'd be like, you lot. Like,
Yeah,
the thing is,
why though?
part of the reason why I would still go, is because I don't want you to think because we're
This is why I'm not
evangelizing,
coming.
that's why I'm not coming.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I would hope that you'd have a change of mind. If I'm being real, this is just me being very real, like with how just because again, I'm around people that I would think in my mind are to a certain degree unfamiliar, and from where you said it is and all that kind of stuff as well, yeah. Like, I've been. You know how it ends. Like sometimes you got like random nitties, like just, and I feel like, to be fair, they don't. Yeah, I mean they don't ever like sort of bother me or anything like that. But do you know what it is? It's just like being in unfamiliar territory and all that kind of stuff sometimes, and it's nothing to do with fear or anything like that. It's just feeling a bit uncomfortable about certain things. You get.
I don't even know. Like, I'd like to see it done in a different way, kind of thing. Definitely still conversational, like on the road or whatever, speaking to people, whatever, innit?
I think if
but
us
done
three
in
were
a
like,
different way, bro.
I think if us three were like, cool, you lot, let's link up on this day and go here and boom, 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 I'll be 100% on it. Do you get what I'm gonna say? Just because I know who I'm going with, like it's kind of like the thing where it's like you go somewhere, and then someone's saying something brazy, but like you're with them.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like,
oh, saying that we're together.
Yeah, I do hear that.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
and the reason why I say it, because I've people have tried to evangelize to me, and I've told you that I'm Christian and that, and like your response is kind of like, fam, it's rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah,
and I'm Christian, and I actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because it's probably like they probably do the thing where it's like you tell them you're Christian, but because of the way you look or dress, they're like,
I remember there was one time when there was the whole, if you die today, we again, so our heaven. And you're kind of like, yeah.
Do you know so
like,
funny?
what the flip? Like,
you know when they do
what
the
the
shock
hell?
factor thing and it doesn't work?
Fam. And then there's another time where like somebody's like, oh, are you born? Like, oh, hey, you're right. Hey, what are you saying? Oh, are you Christian? Yeah. Or are you born again? Yeah. Oh, what does it mean to be born again?
Do you know so funny?
Like, I know what you're trying to do, but brother.
You're so funny. You know the one
I was actually dead.
You know the one where the youth was trying to move to.
Oh yeah.
She's like, and he's like, oh, whatever. She's like, let me ask you a question.
Oh, that was so funny.
Such a curveball.
That one was
so funny.
Such a curveball.
That's so funny.
But I say that to say, you know what you said about like, I think that in that church they won't necessarily coach you certain times, bro. I think it needs to be.
No, yeah.
You need to understand like when you're like how you approach people, what you're saying, because obviously the intention is pure, innit? Do you know
and
what
even
I mean?
from their perspective,
intention is good, but it's just like, bro, certain times it's like you need to understand how to chat to people.
And bro, from their perspective, it's like they don't know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
you might say, listen, come. Like, you might start doing prosperity gospel.
Yeah,
do you get that, bro? Do you know what I mean, though? Yeah, fam, you're so mad. Ever since you come here doing all this ill stuff and all that kind of stuff, man start getting bummed up on that now.
Whatever.
You need to stay away from
whatever, man.
But like, but essentially, like, they don't even know what you're gonna say. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing will just make me feel a bit uncomfortable because it's like, how do you even trust me to say like the right thing?
Yeah, even I'm not even being dumb.
And
but
not me. Forget me for 1 second. Just think about anyone. Say it's someone's first week and they didn't know this was going on.
Yeah,
like, you get what I'm trying to say? There must be an option for people that aren't there yet, or for whatever reason, like it's their first week. We're not about to step out with you lot.
Yeah, and I've done street fundraising before. That was like my first ever job that I've ever done, innit? And one of the things that they teach you about is objection responses. So if somebody says, for example, no, I ain't got money, I'll give to bare charities already, there's an objection response to that. So that's a good thing as well, innit? In terms of like you speak to somebody and they give you, I don't believe in that Jesus stuff. At least, all right, cool, here's the next line that you could potentially use to say to them. Or like your opening line can be this. Do you get what I mean?
You end up on speaker's corner, fam. So I don't believe in all that. It's like, fam, but do you believe in the sun and the moon?
But you know what it is though? Again, the moment, and I do hear that in terms of prepping, but the moment we start prepping now, people start saying that, you are rehearsing like what you got. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
It's good to do that though.
Do you know what it is though?
Because of instances like what I was talking about. I'm actually, the thing about this, I'm Christian.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. What you're doing is actually good. Like, thank God that you lot are doing this. But you've offended me.
How did
And
it
I'm
offend
actually
you?
annoyed.
Offense is.
How
Because
did
he
it
was
offend
like,
you?
oh,
Offense is a choice,
what do you
though,
like? What do you mean? Like, but so he's basically like, it's like
He's
he was
asked you to
saying
explain what you like.
what you mean by
born
born again, but it's the way that he said it, innit? As though like, oh, you don't know what it means, kind of vibe, innit? And then the first one,
condescending,
if I
basically.
condescending, innit?
Yeah,
And then the
fair.
first one, you've asked me if I die where I'm going, and I said heaven.
Mm.
And you're moving like, oh no, you don't. No, you're not. Like, what
No,
you
I
doing?
do hear it, but
Do you get
at
what I
the
mean?
same
So-
time, do you know what it is? I can't lie. A lot of the time when I know what someone's doing, it can't offend me.
And that's why I
But-
even stopped for them.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because
No, I
I'm
feel
like,
you.
okay, like I've stopped for
Yeah,
you to chat to you.
Yeah,
And even,
no,
I think
feel you.
even in that instance, I had already spoken to
one of
them already.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And had like a calm, like it was calm.
Just
Like
so
we
funny
spoke.
as well. From what it sounds like, that person could do the whole thing where it's like, oh, the person that you've spoken to is not pattern like that. So let me just try and shore it up or something. But I was gonna say, yeah, like with all that being said, it's kind of mad how we're talking about it, like based on the point that you initially raised, where it's like it's actually the best news that we've got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
give.
yeah,
the
yeah.
best.
Like,
So give it.
And sometimes it's like, for me, I feel like, do people understand what the news is and how good it is? Like, do people understand how it impacts everyone and how, like, why is it within someone's interest? Because, you know, again, a lot of the time, yeah, you can't, and this is the problem. We speak about this all the time. Traditional evangelism, when people used to do like the shock factor thing when they're like, oh, if you die
The
today,
world
you're
is
going to
ending
hell.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, or like all that kind of stuff, yeah, fear mongering to a certain degree. Yeah. And it's like, if you have to compel someone to go in a certain way rather than motivate or inspire someone to go in a certain way, it's not going to last. Because once the scales fall from their eyes, whatever you use to compel them, as soon as they find out, oh,
It's calm.
it's not.
As soon as they sleep and wake
Do you
up
know
the
what it is
next
as well?
day.
Because
They
of
haven't died.
Christianity, there isn't. It's not. We're not compelling you. Like, Christianity doesn't compel you. Obviously, understand what I'm saying in terms of that initial introduction. It does not compel you to follow Jesus. It's, do you know what? Like, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. Like, if you and the life. If you want to go to heaven, the only way is through Him.
Yeah.
Essentially, innit? It's kind of like, do you get what I'm trying to? It's a choice.
Yeah.
The whole premise of our relationship with God is based on choices. Do you get? So it's like the moment you try to be like, raw, if you don't do this, you're going to, like, and then people get deeper into the faith and start understanding that, raw, well, actually, nah, like, it's not as simple as if I don't do this, I'm going to hell, or if I do this, I'm, do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden the scales start falling from their eyes. They start, raw, what else is that cap? Now it becomes all of the nuanced topics in the faith and all that kind of stuff where, yes, today it can mean this, but tomorrow it might mean that, but with this caveat. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, like, all you lot are just like saying whatever you want. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Liars.
Bro, but you get what I'm trying to say? And it's such a quick way for people to get church hurt as well, because move evangelism to the side for 1 second, yeah. When you start going to a new church and you're new in the faith and you're very radical, you're very like motivated and all that kind of stuff, you're going to all of the different meetings, all that kind of stuff, you're just soaking up everything that they're saying to you. And remember, we've spoken about it before, that's how sometimes people have turned up at your house and start deleting all your music and all that kind of stuff.
Bro.
And at the time you're going along with it. And then later on you'll find out that, raw, like, it didn't have to be done this way. Like, you know, you shared something the other couple of weeks ago, yeah, we were talking about monopoly of truth. Which denomination has the monopoly of truth? And none do. They've all got their different ways of doing things. Like the whole immersion, full immersion versus sprinkle in terms of baptism and all that kind of stuff. You can go all the way in, yeah, and then pause, but you can go like full throttle into like pause. But you get what I'm trying to say, innit? Like,
please.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? You know when he said it, yeah, I was thinking the seriousness of what you're saying, yeah. Are you going to say it? Are you going to say pause?
Yeah, I'm just saying pause from a perspective that that's not the message I'm trying to convey in it. But anyway, essentially, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that you can be in like your radical, like, you know what I mean? When you first join the faith and all that kind of stuff, and like you're on fire and all that kind of stuff, you can be in that place, go along with bare things, and then later on, like, lift your head up from the sand sort of thing, and then start to realize that, well, actually, no, things didn't need to be done this way, and all of a sudden, that sends you way further away from the faith
than it should have done initially.
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like you've got to really be very tempered in your approach.
Be
do you get what I'm trying to
careful,
say? Yeah.
Be careful still.
I think it's one of those things. It's very good news, and we need to understand why it's good news, and we need to understand how to communicate, motivate,
Yeah.
inspire.
But we do need
Do
to
you get what
share
I'm
it
trying to
more.
say? yeah, we do need to share it more, and that's obviously where it starts. But I think, yeah, again, the message is always never to try and compel someone.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
But again though, I think the message is to have that conversation. I think again, moving away from traditional evangelism, like, so I'm not even talking about going to strangers on the street, which, by the way, I think is a necessary thing.
Yeah.
Right. So because your people around you is not everyone in this world. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So for those who actually go out and speak, it's necessary. But I'll also compel people to be like, the people around them who aren't believers.
Yeah.
What are you saying then? And not the whole, they know I'm a believer and they know what I do and they know not to get me involved in blah, blah, blah. Because
but you get involved in what they
that's
do.
not evangelism. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They just know
you're being an example.
You're not going to get down. That's fine. Do you get me? But is that an example to what end? Do you know what I mean? It's like, and obviously again, like we know what the Bible says, that people will change by hearing. Do you get me? That whole like, oh, you know, some people might be like, your life might be the only Bible people see. Yeah, is a good quote, but
only a starting point.
But also do more.
Like we actually know that it's by hearing. That's what the Bible clearly talks about, is by hearing.
It comes by hearing.
But it's by hearing, bro. Like, so by hearing it, we must speak it. Do you know what I mean? And speaking it is talking to people. And one thing I'm not gonna mandate is how you do that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because it could be over a series of conversations, bro. You could start that conversation in January, might end in March. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't know. Like, evangelism isn't like old school, like, oh, today, at the end of this conversation, I'll give your life. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, there's got to be some finesse to it, man.
Because even to be honest, I don't even know how
how to begin,
how biblical that even is. That because you've had that conversation now, it's like, give it now. Like, now's the time. Like, fam, really and truly, this is going into another conversation, about altar calls and stuff, which I don't have a problem with. Sorry, let me make it very clear. Yeah. I know some people don't like altar calls, and they say that, but at the end of the day, nobody actually knows whether you've given your life.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that altar call, that give your life now, all that kind of stuff, is the beginning of your journey of salvation, essentially, innit? And it's kind of like,
I guess that's the hope, innit?
Yeah, of course. No one knows it in one's heart, innit? I think the reason why we use the thief on the cross is because he just had to believe in that moment. And he was patterned.
Yeah.
And it's it's the same kind of thing. But again, obviously his time was very short. But we still got God's grace. Obviously we don't know how long we're going to be on this earth, innit? But we've still got time that we still need to obviously show and
run
prove.
The race.
Exactly. Run the race.
But yeah, I think definitely, like, fam, just leading up, I think evangelism is definitely something that, like, again, I'm challenged on. Do you get me? I just start thinking about more. Do you get what I'm trying to say? In regards to, like, and again, not, fam, I could easily, like, sit on this podcast and be like, yo, this is it, bro. Like, man's doing this every week. I've been doing this every week. If you listen to the podcast, you know that we're Christians. My brethren know I'm a Christian. You know what I'm trying to say? We're basically spitting gospel when we're here. But then, I'll step back and be like, fam, that's a bit of a cop-out. You know what I'm trying to say? Not to say that we're not evangelizing.
Yeah, but hey, there's more that can be done.
But there's
more that you know that you can do, especially
and there's way more that we can speak to. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
That's true stuff.
That actual, like, healing power of Jesus, like, fam. He died.
To be fair, when I think about it now, it's true. And when I think about it now, to be fair, I do actually speak to people. I remember I was even speaking to my manager, and I was like, "Right, have you ever thought about X at a specific time?" Obviously, not going into the details and stuff like that. And I guess it's just more about not having sporadic moments, but having more concerted efforts to essentially share that and give
100%,
100%.
And I feel like that's what I was going to say as well. It's not about waiting for the idle time to pop up. Bro, if you're not consciously trying to even create a space here or deliberately planning that, okay, it's very difficult to do so. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Especially in this day and age, like, where, like, fam, back in the days, them men that used to shout on the road, fam, obviously that it's not easy to shout the gospel on the road, but like, shops used to be closed on Sundays. Do you get what I'm trying to say? In this country. That's how much like there was still a
some
religious
level
acknowledgement of like the faith. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.